along with me to read this story to you. I have this wonderful little Easter story. You know, it's a really good story, Cooper, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is the story about Jesus and the resurrection. It's the Easter story. Oh, this is really good story. And then we have, here we go. We skipped over the title page, right, Cooper? Is that the title page?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the story. While Jesus was on earth, he healed he healed sick people, and he taught everybody, all the people, about God. So everywhere he went, the men and women followed him. The little boys and girls followed him wherever he went. One day he had to go to Jerusalem to celebrate the feast day. As he rode into town on a donkey, a crowd ran up to him to meet him. Some of them shouted, "Blessed is the King," and put their coats down on his path. Others waved big palm branches across the ground and up in the air. All the leaders of Jerusalem were so jealous. They didn't like Jesus. "Look how many people followed this man," they whispered. "I don't like it. Look at all these people that are following this man on the streets. We must find a way to get rid of him." I hope not, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Let me know. That night, Jesus ate at the Passover feast with his friends. He knew it was going to be his last meal that he'd ever eat together with his friends. He didn't want them to forget him. So when the food was passed around, he turned to them and said, "When you eat bread and drink wine like this, I want you to always remember me." There he is with all of his friends sitting there. Jesus knew that the leaders were jealous of him and they were going to take him away soon. He also knew someone sitting in the room would turn him in and turn against him. "Who is this, Lord? Who is it, Lord? Tell us who it is," said John. Jesus answered, "The one I give bread to." As he passed the loaf of bread to Judas, Judas whispered an excuse to get away. He knew he was guilty. After dinner, Jesus and some of his friends went to the garden, and Jesus knew he was going to suffer and he was going to die, and he was very sad. I'm going to pray now, Jesus said. "Please keep watch," to his friends. His friend says, "Oh, yes, Lord." But you know what happened?
What?
Look what happened. They fell asleep. They fell asleep while they were supposed to be watching for the enemy to come around. Jesus knelt and closed his eyes. "Father, you can take away this cup of suffering that is to come to me, but I will do whatever you want." Then Jesus got up and went back to his friends. He said he would do whatever God wanted him to do. His friends were still asleep, right? And look, here comes the soldiers. Suddenly, a group of soldiers marched up to Jesus. Jesus was with them. He ran over to Jesus and greeted him with a kiss. This was the signal for the soldiers to go arrest Judas. Oh. And when they did, his friends left and ran away. There we go. Jesus was brought before the leaders, and some people told lies about him, but they had no proof of them. So the leaders could not charge him with anything wrong. Then he turned to Jesus and he asked him, "You say you are the Son of God. Is that true?" Jesus answered, "I am." This made the leaders so angry. "This man is guilty of a terrible offense. He says he is God's son when he is not," they shouted. "For this, he must be punished." Oh, isn't that sad?
He is, though.
Yes, he is. We know he is. Right, Cooper. And look. So they turned Jesus over to the Roman governor, and it was decided Jesus must die on the cross. But first he had to carry it a long ways, a place called the Calvary. The cross was very heavy, and Jesus fell 3 times going up the hill. His friends could not do anything but look and cry. They were so sad for Jesus, weren't they, Cooper?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus soon died after that. His friends took his body off the cross and buried him in a new tomb. Then they rolled a big stone in front of it. But the leaders were still afraid. They remember that Jesus said that he was going to rise again, and he was going to rise again in 3 days. So they gave the order to the soldiers to guard the tomb day and night, guard the tomb in front of it. A few days later, some friends went to the tomb where Jesus was. Oh my goodness, the big stone was rolled away. It was empty, they shouted. It was empty. And they looked inside, and then they looked above. And what did they see? Cooper, what did they see?
What they saw.
What is that? It's an angel.
Angel.
Yes. He lives again. He lives again. So they ran to tell all the others that Jesus lives again. He's gone. Jesus did what he said he was going to do. After Jesus rose again, he visited the friends who were happy to see him. And before he left for heaven, he told them to spread the good news of God's love to everyone, because Jesus died and he rose again. He earned us a place in heaven. That's why we celebrate Easter, right?
Mm-hmm.
God loved us and sent his son, right? Now, Cooper, can you tell me why did Jesus come to Jerusalem to start with? Huh? Was it for the Passover? He went to Jerusalem. And what did his friends say? What did Jesus give his friends for their Last Supper? Do you remember what they had?
Red wine.
They had wine and bread. And who turned Jesus over to the bad men? Do you remember who that was? If you said Judas, you're right. It was Judas that turned him over. What did the mean leader ask Jesus? Do you remember? He asked him, "Are you the Son of God?" And what did Jesus say? He said, "Yes, I am." And what did his friends see when they went to the tomb to go look for Jesus? They saw a beautiful what? Angel there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the story of Jesus. I want all of y'all to have a wonderful Easter. I miss everybody. Happy Easter.